agreements.
With 2 copies. Have to change.
You send that?
Yeah. We show them maybe, yeah?
I think you have to stand up and show.
Well, 1 copy should be enough, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So that's a 50 million check. Curata, Honorable Attorney-General and Minister for Economy, Honorable Minister for Agriculture, ladies and gentlemen, today we sign a budget support from the European Union to the government of Fiji worth $50 million for the next 3 years, with a payment for 2020 of 20 million Fijian dollars. I'd like to underline 3 points about this support from the European Union to the government of Fiji. First, it shows the strength of the partnership between the EU and the government of Fiji. Second, it focuses on a critical sector in the context of COVID-19. And third, it translates the commitment of Team Europe to the Pacific. The partnership between the EU and Fiji is very strong because it is based on common values, democracy, human rights, support to the multilateral system, and shared priorities, in particular when it comes to climate change and oceans. This support for the next 3 years is a sign of trust and confidence placed by the European Union in the government of Fiji. We trust the capacity of the government of Fiji to face the health consequences of the current coronavirus outbreak. And I want to congratulate your government, Honorable AG, for the steps taken so far, which have proven very successful in maintaining this outbreak under control in Fiji. We trust also the capacity of the government of Fiji to overcome the socio-economic impact of the current outbreak. Which brings me to my second point. Beyond the health consequences, the socio-economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic is extremely strong, very severe here in Fiji, with 40% of the economy depending on tourism. I heard so many stories of people who cannot work in the tourist industry anymore and have to go back to the village. They have to go back to the land, they have to go back to the farm to be able to literally put food on the table. That's the reason why it is so important that we focus our budget support on rural livelihood. What it means is that this money will support the efforts undertaken by the government of Fiji to reform the agricultural sector and implement a new strategy. A new strategy which will aim at creating value, creating job opportunities, diversifying, coping with the challenges of climate change as well. So it is your chance to develop a rich, diverse, smart agricultural sector. And we're very happy to be a part of that. Let me conclude by recognizing the presence of His Excellency the French Ambassador and the Spanish Chargé d'Affaires, because this package of assistance, 50 million Fijian dollars for the next 3 years, with a $20 million payment for 2020, is an assistance package provided by Team Europe, the European Union and the member states. When Cyclone Harold hit Fiji, we acted together. The European Union provided assistance to the communities in Fiji through the Fiji Red Cross Society, and France, as a country, sent humanitarian cargo, which was uplifted by the Armed Forces of New Caledonia, with a financial contribution from the European Union Civil Protection Mechanism. So it shows that we really work together, and I'm happy that this is a small piece of paper, but that really shows the commitment we put in our relationship for the next 3 years and beyond. Thank you very much.
You see the EU ambassador to Fiji, of course, the French ambassador to Fiji, and of the resident rep of Spain. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Of course, I'd like to acknowledge the Minister for Agriculture and his Permanent Secretary who are here with us. His Excellency actually said all that I wanted to say. Given his eloquence, he's covered everything. But we are most definitely appreciative of the confidence that the EU has actually placed on Fiji. And they, of course, this is not the first time they're providing support to us in terms of direct budget support. They've done this before. And obviously it's an indication, it's a affirmation of the fact that they have confidence in the way that we manage our economy, the way that we manage our financial system. And as His Excellency has also stated that this financing through the budget is going towards the Sustainable Rural Livelihood Program. And as you know, through the very able leadership of the Minister of Agriculture, we have seen in particular in the past 18 months to 2 years a huge change, and of course with his Permanent Secretary, a huge change in the agricultural sector. One of the areas, of course, that we are focused on also is to ensure that we have value adding that takes place in the agricultural sector, be able to have a more refined products. Currently, which Fiji Airways is flying, freight flights to LA, Sydney, Auckland, over 70% of the freight that's taken out of Fiji is actually agricultural based. So it goes to show that agriculture provides a very key important component, or is a key important component of our export market. We of course want to also ensure that we continue to work with the EU, not just in terms of getting financial support, but also technical support. I'd like to take this opportunity also to highlight to the three reps over here in the European countries, including the EU, that there's also business opportunities in Fiji, and we'd like to expand that scope for European countries to look at Fiji as a point of investment. We also can provide a number of opportunities in respect of, for example, processing, manufacturing, and we are looking into that space at this point in time, where people are now looking at alternative areas for processing, management, assembly lines, etc. So we'd like to thank you once again for your support, and of course your partnership is very much valued. And more so, I'd like to highlight, notwithstanding the fact that COP is now going to be deferred, we still look forward to working together with you in the COP when it's held next year, I understand, because we cannot actually let our guard down regarding climate change and the measures we need to put in place, because the reality of the matter is COVID-19 or no COVID-19, climate change is having an impact on our economies. The climate is changing. There are climate-induced disasters that are taking place with intense frequency, intensity, and we need to be mindful of that and also build sustainable livelihoods around that. So, thank you once again, and we of course look forward to working together with you. Thank you.